welcome to Creative Mornings St. Pete. The theme for this month is purpose, and so everything we do today will be on purpose. Pausing for laughter, pausing for laughter. I'm so glad you chose to be with us this morning. We are thrilled to welcome back so many familiar faces, our regular attendees, and excited to expand our audience to even more newcomers, out-of-towners, and visitors from other Creative Mornings chapters. So wherever you are tuning in from today, thank you for being here with us this morning. No one's here by accident because everything today is on purpose. I saw some of you say it. Yes, I'm still this corny. So speaking of on purpose, I would like to give a special shout out to our Tampa section of the community. We're very excited to be featuring a Tampa-based speaker and a Tampa-based musician today. I know we have promised to do a Tampa-based event for a while now, and this doesn't quite count, but we are moving in the right direction. So I just want to say thank you to everybody on our team and everybody in our audience who has braved the bridge over the last 3 years to be with us. We really appreciate that. So, Creative Mornings is an international breakfast event series. Oh, there we go. We have more than 210 chapters all over the world, and our goal is to connect, support, and inspire the creative community. And when we say creative community, we really mean everybody because we believe that everyone is creative, so everyone is welcome here. And we are the Tampa Bay chapter of Creative Mornings. And hello, I'm Tara. I'm your host, and I'm part of an incredible team of volunteers and partners who donate their time, talent, and resources to putting these events together every single month. I'm going to take a quick sip of made coffee, a little product placement. So our events are always free. They're always on the fourth Friday of the month, and they're typically at Station House, but now they're at just home, like my home with my grandma, your home with your dog, you know, whatever you've got, that's what we're rolling with. And I think that's pretty neat. Like once we were casual acquaintances, I stood up on a stage every month and you listened to me talk before somebody else talked. And now we're hanging out in each other's homes on a Friday morning, just hella casual. So it's kind of nice. So in order to get the most out of today's hang, I'm going to go over a few logistics for Zooming newbies, or even if you're familiar with this. So everybody's microphone is muted, and it's going to stay that way to prevent a massive audio meltdown. But you can use the chat feature to talk to people. So if you go down to the bottom of your screen, there's a little chat icon, and then it'll open up a whole chat window. You can say something to everybody, or you can say something to another individual just using that little drop down. You can also turn your video on and off. We'd appreciate it if you turned it on because it's nice to see your face. But if you need to like do something you don't want us to see, or you're in bed and you feel weird about that, you can turn it off. And then the last thing is you can switch your view. So you have a lot of different options for how you see today's event. So you can do the speaker view, which is going to highlight whoever's speaking. You can do the gallery view, which is going to let you see everybody, including who's speaking. And then when we share the screen like we're doing now, you have like a couple of options to go full screen. You can make our presentation small, everybody big. So mess around with that, figure out what you like. It's all up to you. And then finally, today we're going to do Q&A through a handy little app we call Slido. I've figured out how to say it finally. So on your phone right now, go to sli.do, enter code SPPurpose. That's SPURPOSE, SPPurpose. And you're going to see that you can answer or ask your own questions and or upvote other people's questions. So feel free to pop anything that comes to mind into that question and answer app during the talk, and then at the end, that's what we'll use to ask Rosana the questions. So if you have any other questions, inquiries about Zoom, our chapter, other things related to this experience, pop them into the chat. Someone from our team or the community will help you out. And because the Creative Mornings experience is all about community and connection, I'm going to pass it over to our lead welcomer, Andrea, for a little bit more information and another familiar face. So take it away, Andrea.
Hi. It's me, Andrea. You're welcome, buddy. I'm going to remind you the best ways to engage with us. So turn on that video so we can see your cute morning faces, like Tara said. And if you post anything on social media, make sure you're tagging us at CM St. Pete and using the global hashtag for the month of CM Purpose. And then taking photos, send them to us. As always, props are encouraged. This is my cute crown. And pets also encouraged. Okay? DM them to us, email them, so we can post these cute pictures of you. This could be you right now in an album. Okay, India, off to you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm India, the mug librarian. Normally, I'm lending out mugs and admiring all of the mugs that you've brought. So today, this is my mug. It's the diner, keeping with breakfast and morning. So if you all want to show us what mugs you're drinking out of this morning, go ahead and hold them up, pop over to gallery view, and then hold them there so one of our wonderful photographers can snap a picture. Okay, and let's just hope that one of them has gotten it by now. Yay, look at all those beautiful mugs. Okay, cheers. Woo, okay, over to you, Stephen.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Steven. I am the proprietor of Pete's General. I also am a former speaker from January 2019. Yes, Tara said yes. So that's pretty good. And yeah, so Pete's General, we are open for pickup and delivery, a delivery through Uber Eats. You can also go to peachgeneral.com/pickup and order from our website. All our bagels are made every day and are awesome, and we have all these baked goods, and it's all made in-house and super fun, and we miss making everyone bagels for Creative Mornings, so looking forward to doing that again. I did try to make a secret coupon code for people who are watching this, but apparently Square doesn't let you do that. So I did not do that. So no coupon code, but come in and we'll give you a wave from 6 feet away if you had watched Creative Mornings. Okay. So there's a bunch of other breakfast partners that are also amazing and friends of ours. So Manna Bakery, she is offering delivery boxes of a bunch of her amazing baked goods, plus a few treats. You can order on her website today before 10 a.m., so you have about an hour and 20 minutes to get Sunday morning delivery. I don't know if you guys have seen, like, when she puts up her donuts, they look amazing. I don't know if she has donuts this week, but whatever she has, I'm sure it's great. Curious Cat Bakery, who's also amazing. She's we have sold her stuff through Pete's, and she's a great person as well, so please support her. She's doing weekend delivery of her amazing vegan brunch boxes, and she is keeping her order window until 11 a.m. So if you're watching, you still have time to place an order for this weekend. And if you're interested, she actually just started, she made a book called Vegan Baking 101. Has 16 super easy veganized classic recipes like banana bread, muffins, cupcakes, and brownies. You can go to her website at curiouscatbakery.com to check that out. Tea Bella, their Davis Island store is open for call ahead and curbside pickup and online ordering. Plus, you can order the products online, including their monthly subscription boxes. And then everyone's favorite coffee made. At this point, they've donated, this is crazy, 54,000 cases of coffee so far to first responders, healthcare providers, and hospitality workers. That's pretty awesome. I know we have been drinking it. I have brewed made coffee here at home myself, and we also sell it at Pete's. They are shipping to your house, so you don't have to leave to get it. If you go to drinkmadecoffee.com, they'll ship it to you, and they're offering a boost box. 10 cans for $10. That's actually a really good deal, better than our own deal that we get to sell at Pete's. Okay, Noelle.
Cool. Hello, morning people. My name is Noelle. I used to greet you at the door or tell you what some of our breakfast options were. But since I can't tell you what our breakfast options are, I'll ask you what you're having. Um, Maybe you're supporting Pete's General or one of our other lovely breakfast partners. Go ahead and drop it in the comment of if you're supporting any local people, or maybe you're just crafting new recipes with whatever you have left at home. I am having oatmeal with strawberries from Publix. So I will also ask, like coffee, breakfast is our other offering at Creative Mornings. So go ahead and switch to gallery view if you don't have it on already, and hold up your breakfast, or maybe get a partner or a roommate. We're gonna pose for a photo. Get your furry friend in there if you need to. There's Betty, and smile, and hopefully we got it, Mark. Cool. All right. So that's all from me, folks. Enjoy your breakfast. Enjoy your day. Peace. Oh, and Jimmy is up next.
Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm Jimmy. I own Wax and Hive. I also do a lot of work for Warner Music Group. What Wax and Hive does is we help Creative Mornings with artwork and with creative. So we're making illustrations and making fun stuff, and we also help Creative Mornings. We help support Creative Mornings by creating merch that helps fund the chapter. So once we all get back to normal, we'll have the merch set up going again. But for today, we're going to talk about Zoom backgrounds. That's right. You see all these weirdos in your Zoom chats, and they're making custom backgrounds, and they're using them. Well, guess what? You can do it too. In fact, we made a Dropbox link, which, oh, that's so great. They put it in the chat for me. I don't even have to do it. I had it copied to my clipboard and everything. You guys are so great. So all you got to do, if you want to see the Zoom backgrounds that we have, is hit that Dropbox link. There's some different folders. You'll see that there's some of the Creative Mornings venues, which I'm going to go in and I'm going to add my own right now. So let's see. If you want to install a custom Zoom background or change yours, all you have to do is you just click on your little Zoom menu, and then you go into preferences. And then once you're in preferences, you'll see a little option that says virtual background. So if you click virtual background, there's a few stock ones in there. There's like the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm in San Francisco. See, you guys can go on vacation from home. It's so easy. We got this gem from, who knows what beach this is, but they have this animated one that's a stock background. Let's see, we made this one for today's event. This is a quote, and if you position yourself just right, it's a pretty picture. But we have a few fun ones, from the internet that we found. This guy, he's probably, not hanging out with any tigers right now, but I heard he's in a cage. Let's see, we got this one. We've got, let's see, this hotel. It's an upscale hotel. I don't know if you recognize this. It's actually from The Shining. So, if you guys want to add your own, you can shoot us an email. I'm sure someone's going to drop that in the chat, the email to hit us up at, and submit your own. We can add your artwork. This is one I made. There's another one I made. But have fun with it. Make your custom Zoom backgrounds. It's a good time. It's something to talk about. And I think that's all I got to cover. So it's back to Tara.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, the Zoom backgrounds are really fun. I started downloading all of the pictures of myself from Creative Mornings past, and then using those as Zoom backgrounds because I'm a Leo. So that's a thing that you could do, fellow Leos. Anyway, in case you missed it, you can tag us in your posts and stories today at CM_St. Pete. As always, we'd really love to see what you like most about this experience, and especially now what this experience looks like from your perspective. And if you want to be part of that larger global conversation this month, you can use the hashtag CMPurpose. So this morning we are thrilled to have Daniel Giron as our musical guest. Daniel is a classical and new flamenco guitarist whose music is a confluence of classical and flamenco guitars, jazz, rock, and Latin rhythms that fuse together to produce his own unique style. And as I mentioned before, he is Tampa-based. So Tampa-based Daniel, please everybody join me in welcoming to the stage Daniel Giron.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm gonna play a couple tunes. Spanish guitar. As Tara said, I play Spanish guitar. This is a classical guitar. So let's do some music. Thank you. So next piece is a song by a Canadian guitar player, Jesse Cook. The name of the song is Mario Takes a Walk. And it's a Spanish rumba.
Thank you so much, Daniel. That was amazing. I didn't know if it was appropriate to dance or not, so I just did it like a little bit.
Yeah, you could. Thank you, Tara. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. So if you would like to follow Daniel, we put his information up, Daniel Hiron Guitar on Instagram, and then you can see more of his music videos, figure out where he's going to play next on his website. Thank you so much for being with us today, Daniel.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So I'm pleased to introduce our speaker for this month, Chef Rosana Rivera. She's a chef, entrepreneur, business owner, and mentor, and it has been so lovely getting to know her over the past few weeks, hearing her story. She's such an inspiration, I think, to everyone, but especially to female entrepreneurs. So I'm very grateful that she's here with us today. Please help me welcome Chef Rosana Rivera.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me today. I'm Chef Rosana Rivera, and today is the largest audience that I've ever spoken to. So thank you for coming to hear about my story, to go with me through this journey, and to talk about purpose. I currently own multiple concepts in the Tampa Bay area. One of them is called Silo Mexican, and it is at the Holland Franklin in Tampa Heights. I also co-own Coffee, which is a coffee shop also at the Holland Franklin in Tampa Heights. And as recently as a few weeks ago, I was able to open our first ghost kitchen in Pinellas Park, called Our Score Provisions. I've been a Tampa chef for over 14 years. This is where I set my roots as a chef and entrepreneur. And my most recent call to fame was competing in Beat Bobby Flay, the Food Network show, and being honored with winning with our beef empanadas. Today, obviously, want to talk about my journey to finding my purpose, and I call it bringing people joy through food with a sprinkle of passion. You know, that's really where I set down my roots with finding my love for food and finding my love for sharing food with others, and it brings me extreme joy. And that's the story that I want to share with you today. You know, I'm very blessed and lucky to feel that I wake up every day excited, enjoying what I do, and finding joy in all the moments that I get to share with our guests and with our families through food. However, you know, the journey to finding your purpose is also full of challenges, and part of my story has to do with that, how I dealt with those challenges and how I live and share my purpose every day. So one of the things that I wanted to share you about is kind of what my journey was in finding my purpose and what took me to do food every day for other people. I started over about a decade and a half ago, you know, after a long career in the corporate world in sales and marketing. I find myself with a lot of internal questions. You know, what do I want out of life? I had a great job. I was very blessed to travel internationally, had a great salary, but it wasn't what was fulfilling to me. So some of those internal questions were, why am I not happy? Why don't I feel fulfilled? I was doing a job and I was really good at it, but I knew internally that that wasn't it. And it took me a good decade and a half to really find what that purpose meant to me, and finding the answers to all those internal questions. And one of the things that really drove me to food was going back to my roots. I have been cooking since I was about 12 years old. I'm very blessed with I come from a long line of amazing cooks, from my grandmother to my mother. I remember very clearly to this day learning to bake bread for the first time with my grandmother. And, being in the kitchen, that was my safe place. That's where I felt the happiest. And food is, you touch all the senses through food, from the smells to what you touch to what you see, since we all eat first with our eyes. But most importantly is all the memories that you create through food. If I challenge you right now to think about your favorite meal, I'm sure that if you think very quickly, you can come up with an answer of that one meal that you remember the most, whether it's something that your mom cooked at home, your grandmother, or a great experience that you had going out with a restaurant. And it's because those are the memories that we create through food, and what we enjoy at the table. But my path through food wasn't immediate. I wasn't a teenager knowing I'm going to be a chef for the rest of my life. So my path to culinary wasn't as traditional as other people. In my 30s is where I was having those internal questions that I decided to answer them, and really went back to my roots and said, food is what makes me the happiest. I'm already good at it. I'm already good at entertaining, and really decided to take it seriously. Previously, earlier in life, I had studied just a career in business, and in my mid-30s, I went back to school, put myself through culinary school, and opened a small business just by myself as a personal chef. So those building blocks, those small steps, is what eventually led me to what you see today. By starting small, I was able to make connections. It started as simply as making empanadas for my neighbors and for my family and friends. And I remember people telling me, wow, these are amazing, you should sell them. And after hearing that a few times, I started to take it seriously. Maybe there is something here. And every time I spent in the kitchen making food for others, I was so happy in my zone, in that moment where I felt very fulfilled. And that's what led me to the decision to pursue this professionally. Now, little by little, my business on my own started growing. I'm very blessed when you have a great community that supports you. Those referrals lead you from one person to the next and to slowly growing your business. And at one point in my life, I started teaching in culinary school, which also led me to become more of an expert at my craft. And I met my other half, who became my other half in business and in life. His name is Chef Ricardo. To this day, we're partners not only in life but in business. And he's been an integral part of my growth as a business owner. So around 2012, we opened our first brick and mortar, our first retail location. And then from there, the rest is history. Okay, all the rest is history, but not really, right? The life is not all about looking roses. You go through a lot of challenges, even if you have found your purpose. Success is not immediate. Life and business can be tough. And many things happen that you don't necessarily plan for, or you don't necessarily see coming your way. And those are the times where you make, difficult decisions, and you have to deal with the consequences of those decisions. So just to briefly kind of give you scope, over the past 14 years, I have opened 3 businesses, 3 of them being brick and mortar, and have had to make the difficult decision of close one. For whatever reasons, these are things that happen not only to me, it happens naturally sometimes in business, and you learn to adapt. I remember when Ricardo and I first opened our first restaurant called Piquant. It was a French restaurant, and that's our passion, French food. And we set out to do a very classic, traditional, all French cuisine. But when we first opened our doors, we noticed that not some of our most traditional dishes were selling. And we decided to adapt our concept to be French inspired, make it a little bit more inclusive to local trends, local ingredients, local flavors. And I remember one of the dishes that we created was our French Cuban sandwich. We wanted to pay homage to the classic Tampa Cuban sandwich with French ingredients, and it became one of our biggest hits. So when you adapt, it pushes your creativity in perhaps a different direction than you first intended. But at the core, you never compromise who you are. And I feel those are great attributes of knowing and working towards your purpose. Pushing the boundaries, pushing the envelope, and those are great ways to live every day about your purpose and your passion in life. So overall, as we have grown our business, of course, I have learned tremendously, not only by in managing my own business, but managing my life and consistently on a daily basis, believing and trusting in my purpose. Business has evolved the same way we do individually as well. Self-doubt is something that is normal and a normal course of life and being in business. I have my moments of self-doubt, but at the end of the day, if I respond to the question, does this bring me joy? And the answer is yes, I'm always able to find the inner strength that pushes me forward to continue living my purpose. And I hope, this is what I share with you today and instill in you to be able to answer those questions for yourself. Now, how do I take the time to define my purpose? It's a tough journey, turning what you enjoy doing or what your passion is, and to be able to monetize it and make money through that purpose. So it takes time. You need to not only believe in yourself, but motivate yourself every day, because there are going to be difficult moments and there are going to be great moments of success too. So all in all, that's what's going to take you to that living a life of purpose. Now, one of the things that I always care about is how do I best serve my own happiness and the happiness of others? And that's the question that I answer myself every day when I wake up and I go to work. It's I serve my own happiness and I serve best the happiness of others and my staff and my family by doing what I love doing, which is cooking. I also have, like 3 internal pillars. One of them is obviously passion. You have to be passionate. I sometimes wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to bake bread. And that's something that if I didn't have a lot of passion for it, I would rather be sleeping in. Also, in business, you have a bad day. And I've had countless of horrible reviews, those that it's like a dagger into your heart. And I could have a moment of self-doubt, but that passion is what drives me to do it all over again the next day and trust that tomorrow is going to be a better day and I'm gonna do my job a lot better. The next pillar is strength. Obviously I hone my skills. I call strengths and skills kind of in the same family. Learning and gaining knowledge in what you do and becoming an expert, it's a day job. Every day I'm practicing what I do Every day I'm learning from others in my field and off my field, and practice, practice, practice. Mentoring has also helped me build upon my strengths, helping others, whether it's in the culinary industry or whether it's in business. It helps me be better at what I do. And then the third pillar is time, opportunity. I've learned, I'm a little bit older now, so that I've learned that things take time to develop. Your purpose and what you love to do will take you time to really hone it in and make it the best version of yourself. And those things take time and opportunity, and those opportunities, you have to seek them for yourself. So all in all, you know, the things that I have, like my little bag of tricks that help me work towards my purpose every day. I can tell you that they have to do with finding your purpose, adapting your purpose, or continuing on your purpose. Many of you will be at some point in this journey today. So one of the things that I work on a daily basis is taking care of myself, especially as I've gotten older. Finding that balance is something that I've worked really hard in the past 2 years. And finding balance is not stopping work, because I'm a workaholic, like many of you are, and I could easily work 24 hours if I could, if I didn't have to sleep. But to me, finding balance is doing things for myself. Finding 5 minutes or 10 minutes to do yoga every morning. Or it could be 2 minutes of silence to just meditate and think about my day. I journal a lot because a lot of things inspire me. Beautiful artwork inspires me. An amazing photograph inspires me. Travel. Hearing about someone else's success story. So I try to take a moment every day to internalize all those influences that have made my day better. I also, like I mentioned just now, I find inspiration and support in others. Over the years, I've become members of many great organizations. You are doing your part by showing up today and being a part of the Creative Mornings community. And things like this are really important. I am an active participant of a female entrepreneurship network called Babe Crafted. And I also participate in my local Chamber of Commerce. I'm Latino, so I am a member of the Tampa Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I make time to actively participate with like-minded people. And that's something that I recommend that you do very frequently in your life and in business. You never want to forget about be passionate. It's something that I've already mentioned multiple times today, but at the end of the day, it's what gets you out of bed every morning. It's being passionate extremely about what you do. I've asked myself recently, is this something I would do every day? If I didn't have a restaurant, if I didn't have a kitchen, would I still do and cook every day? And the answer is yes. This is what brings me joy, and it's my motto, and it's what I wake up with a reason, and to spend time with my other half and with my staff, and especially with the guests that I interact with every day. I want to leave you with my personal 3 values that I developed many years ago and that eventually became our company values. The first one is love it. You gotta love what you do, and you gotta love it every day. You wanna share it. That's my second value. Share what you love with those that are around you, whether it's on social media, whether it's through your brick and mortar business, whether it's through your family and friends. And my third value is know it. I think I've already mentioned, you want to become an expert at what you do. You want to be the best version of yourself and what you do and who you are. So share it, know it, and love it. In any order, it works. So my call to action as I wrap this up for you today, it's I want you to consider what it is that makes you happy, brings you joy, and what you're extremely passionate about. Like I said before, many of you are probably already in this journey. You live and breathe your passion every day. So I want to call to you to keep on that journey and keep doing what you're doing to make passionate, because it makes a difference in your community and it makes a difference in the world. If you're still in the journey to finding what your purpose and what your passion is in life, hopefully you can take away all of my little bag of tricks of what led me to my purpose and to define what that is for you. But trust me, you know, a life that it feels fulfilling is when you're enjoying what you do. And finally, do your homework. You know, start by building your little building blocks. Start small. Do one product that you can put out into the world that will make a difference, and build from there. That's exactly how, you know, we open our businesses every time. We start small and we build from there until we know we're experts at what we do, and then we can go crazy with you know, a lot of offerings and a lot of products. So all in all, thank you so much for spending time with me today to learn about my story, about my journey to purpose. And I hope that I have inspired you today to hone into it, keep doing what you're doing, and do it with a lot of joy. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Chef Rosana. I'm just like, I'm digesting what you said. No pun.
It's a lot of information, yes.
No, it's good. And I love the biggest takeaway for me, and I know we've been talking about this for a few weeks, so I have a little bit of a leg up on everyone else, but just what are you making time for now, or what are you always making time for, and what makes you happy? And like, my answer is Creative Mornings, obviously. But yeah, that's something that I've been kind of meditating on since we started this conversation. Is like, I asked Chef Rosana, I was like, okay, you have to narrow it down. Like, what is your passion? Like, put it into a sentence. And as I was being very aggressive about her doing that, I was in my own head like, could you do that? So that's something that I've been thinking about, but certainly Creative Mornings is on my list, always making time for this community. So thank you so, so much. We're going to do a little Q&A reminder. We're doing it with the app called Slido. So SLI.do on your phone. Enter the code SPPurpose, and you can enter your own questions, put your name in or leave it anonymous, and then you can upvote the other questions that people submit. And while you're doing that, we're going to take a few moments to say thank you to our global partners. India, would you do me a favor and help me with Q&A so I can do global partner stuff and pull up those questions? Cool, thanks. So thank you to MailChimp. They are our global partner for marketing. We send out 2 emails per month. One is at the beginning of the month. It's like, this is our theme, save the date. And then the second one is all the information that you're going to need to come to our event, and usually some great local links as well. So MailChimp makes it super easy for us to have control over content and design of our emails and send it out to all the people we love without any drama. They are a marketing platform that exists to empower small businesses. So many of their core customers are struggling right now. They are offering current customers who have 25 or fewer employees up to 3 months of free MailChimp service. Learn more by visiting the link we're putting in the chat. And also thank you to WordPress.com. They are our official global partner for web publishing. We have a cute little webpage on the Global Creative Mornings site, thanks to WordPress.com. You can go there, stpetedonut.party, to see videos and photos from our past events, get details on upcoming events, and just poke around to learn everything about us and the other chapters around the world. You can even watch videos from other chapters around the world. I think Atlanta and New York are hosting events today. Also Palm Beach, our friends on the other coast, so you can see what they're up to. So thousands of small businesses, online stores, and freelancers call WordPress.com home. You can set up a website for free. And if you find you want to add on features, you can get 20% off of your account payment with our insider link, which we're also putting in the chat. And finally, thank you to our newest global partner, Basecamp. They are our partner for project management. We, possibly like you, have been doing a lot of project management and digital organizing lately, and Basecamp helps with that. So whether you're a company exploring how to work remotely or a longtime user, Basecamp is offering all attendees of Creative Mornings events 6 months free of Basecamp Business, which is a $600 value. So they do want to see your face though. So if you take a selfie with your computer before this event ends and email it to them with a short note, they'll give you free things. So more details are in the chat. Okay, so let's ask Rosana some questions, and India is going to be my co-host here for a moment. You got all those cues pulled up?
Yes.
Okay, you kick us off and then I'll pull it up and take over in a minute.
Okay. So the most upvoted question right now, you said you opened a new business a few weeks ago. How was it opening a new business during these crazy times?
Well, thank you for that question. I've actually received that question multiple times recently because I get to talk even through this to a lot of colleagues and other business owners. So we're kind of always checking in on each other. I want to say, about 6 months ago, Ricardo and I set out to do our own facility for Ghost Kitchen. And if you're not familiar with that term, very quickly I'll explain it. Our new motto is like a cloud food hall, where we're not a brick and mortar that you come through the door, but food gets delivered to you in many different ways, whether it's shipment or delivery. So it caught us in this situation that we're all in right now, where we were finishing construction. But I will say that whether that had happened or not, one of the things that I've learned in business is that you have to learn to pivot. And I mentioned earlier in the chat that it's about adapting. Once you find your purpose, you're always going to have to be evolving and adapting. You want to be able to not only keep up with the trends, but with sudden changes like what we're all experiencing right now. So whether that had been in the plans or not, I know that we would have found a way to pivot our businesses where we would still be able to cater to our customers. Currently, we're doing delivery. That's our own delivery. That's the format that works best for us. And I think, again, I want to go back to what I said. Sometimes you want to be able to start small and kind of get really good at what you're doing. And we wanted a few weeks where we would be good and safe for our staff and for ourselves to deliver food safely. And then slowly from there, expand for pickup or takeout or that type of a thing.
Thank you.
Thanks, India. I can take it from here. So, Chef Rosana, what have you learned in the last month that you will continue to use in your business? Maybe an unexpected silver lining. I think you spoke about this at our last meeting about the intimate kind of connection you have with people now.
Oh, absolutely. When we go through, we're very blessed that we're in a location in Tampa Heights where it's high volume. So we get to see a lot of guests on a daily basis, but these smaller formats, I'm able to talk to clients myself. Sometimes that gets a little bit lost in the process when you're doing high volume. So being able to deliver myself or being able to communicate with my customers, whether it's by email, we're doing social happy hours on a weekly basis. I communicate with them through email or text. And the platforms that we're using for delivery allows for a lot of communication. So I will tell you that one of the most rewarding things is receiving a text or an email from people thanking us for delivering to them, for making their day, or this is the best quiche I've ever had. So those moments when you get that type of feedback, that it's not about good food, it's about meaningful food, it's very rewarding. So I've had a lot of moments during this time where my purpose just gets validated on a daily basis. What do I see moving forward? I think that we're in a new era, and for restaurants, I feel, that this type of interaction is going to continue in some form, and it's going to continue to grow. So we're very happy to have the time right now to build the infrastructure where we can continue on a delivery, shipment, or takeout capability.
Thank you. This question, I think you kind of started to answer it. Maybe you already completely did. How do you see the restaurant industry moving forward in the next few months to year?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and it's something that Ricardo and I ask ourselves every day. And like I said in the previous question, we talk to a lot of other restaurateurs, if not on a daily basis, multiple times a week, kind of all checking into each other, because we have to support each other and kind of figure out, it's uncharted waters. So figure out between all of ourselves how we're going to move forward. I feel, once things start to reopen, that the safety measures need to stay in place, and it's something that we have considered, in terms of our staff need to continue wearing masks. That's probably not going to go away. We were already avid users of single-use gloves, so we're just going to continue and probably, just going through more gloves than before, and that is okay. Because at the end of the day, it's not only about making delicious food, it's about making safe food and for people to be able to come into our restaurants. But I've heard many ideas tossed around to more table separation, to decrease capacity. And again, bottom line is how you adapt to that. I think that's what's more important coming out of this situation, without compromising who you are, and with making sure that you're creating a safe environment for your staff and for your guests. I believe that's very important. I foresee also more and more ghost kitchens, just like we are doing, where the food comes to you, and it can be Italian, it can be Mexican, it can be French, it can be bakery, it can be great coffee, but the food comes to you and you're just ordering from one place instead of multiple.
Thank you. The next question is, how do you bring your culture into your work? And I assume they mean your background.
How to bring, oh my gosh, the culture, it's something, over the years that I will say has become a priority. We're always evolving, the core values that I talked during the chat, I wasn't joking when I meant that they actually became our company values. We instill in every one of our staff members, you gotta love this, because we're gonna ask a lot from you. You're gonna have work long hours, you're gonna be tired, it's gonna be dirty that you have to clean, and when you think you're tired, you're not done yet. We are very specific about our cuisine, so we demand their best at all times, because we know that it shows in their food. One of the things that I mentioned to Tara in our many conversations is, one thing that's very important to our culture is, I tell my staff from day one, I don't want you to cook like me, or I don't want you to serve like me. I want you to be better than me, because then that's really what makes me sleep well at night, that I know that they're giving 100% and they're becoming experts at what they do. And then we also take care of each other. I feel in the world of today, people are looking for a workplace where they feel taken care of. I'm still touching base, even if we had to make the difficult decision of laying off so many of our part-time employees. I still touch base with them multiple times a week, check on them. Do you need ingredients? Do you need toilet paper? Because we have access to all of that. How can we, move to the point that we can bring you back? How are you doing financially? How are you doing on your health? Those are things that we ask every day. And I bring joy to the workplace. If I'm having a terrible day where I'm moody, I'm not my best, I'd rather, show up when I'm feeling 100%. I transmit everything into my staff, and I only want to transmit to them joy.
I love that answer about work culture. Perhaps somebody is also wondering about your like Puerto Rican culture. It's interesting to me that you opened a French restaurant, you have a Mexican inspired restaurant. So how do you meld your background with like what you're doing going forward?
I will just say, you are who you are. So, I'm very blessed to being born and raised in Puerto Rico. I moved to the States in 2002 for the first time. So being here, has been amazing for my career. But you don't forget who you are. I cook a certain way, and we love to season. So I feel like that's my secret ingredient that we put into food, no matter whether we're doing French or we're doing Mexican or Italian. I love cooking Italian food, by the way. So I never forget my roots. I never forget who I am. Most of our most successful recipes are really my grandmother's or my mother's recipes. I just won Bobby Flay by an empanada that I've been making since 12 years old, empanadilla that I learned to make with my mom, and that it's when you do what you love to do the way you love to do it, I think it shows and people appreciate it.
I love that. This question is for me. Tara, are you eventually going to wallpaper your home in Creative Mornings City banner? I mean, it's happened. Look at it. It took me about 2 weeks to take it down last time. So yes. Chef Rosana, how do you think the local community influenced your restaurant concepts?
Oh, tremendously. First of all, I love Tampa Bay, whether it's Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. This is where I found my roots. It's a city with a great vibe, big Hispanic community too, so it's great for me. But definitely the tastes and what people want have definitely influenced my menus. I gave the example before when we had piquant and we made a French Cuban, but that's just one example of the many dishes that we have adapted to a palate that we feel is more in tune to where we are. And that's the best part about my job, is creating those things that then become a staple in your restaurant or in your catering, We have a big influence of people from out of state or that are well-versed travelers. So I feel the palate is more elevated, especially throughout the past few years. So when people demand, when you know that they demand better from you, it's a great challenge as a chef to overcome. And we're in a great position right now where people want better products. Where does it come from? Are you buying locally? Is it organic? Global flavors, are very present in our culinary world in Tampa. So that's very exciting. The melting pot that is Florida is definitely kicking and alive here in Tampa Bay.
I appreciate that perspective of just, people challenging you and you taking it as an opportunity to like push yourself rather than, our customers are so demanding.
No, that's in reality in business. It's not about they're too demanding. That's the way it should be. Yeah.
So 5 people would like to know what was in the French Cuban from pecans.
The ingredients?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, so how we converted it from a regular Cuban to French Cuban. So first of all, we used to smoke and roast the pork in house, and that was done just like we do it in Puerto Rico. So with a lot of flavors. And then we used a French ham, just a French jambon, really good quality, very similar to that subtle sweet flavor that ham does in Tampa. Instead of pickles, we used to make red wine pickled onions. Instead of Swiss, we use Gruyere. And instead of Cuban sandwich, we used to make our own roasted garlic sandwich. Bread, I should say, specifically, roasted garlic bread. And now I'm getting hungry. And the final ingredient was a Chardonnay mustard instead of a regular yellow mustard.
That sounds amazing. My husband's behind the scenes here, just like, oh my God. He's from Tampa.
Yeah.
What was the hardest lesson you had to learn in running your own business, and how did it shape your future endeavors?
So one of the hardest things is, when I set out to do what I love to do, which we spoke about it extensively today, it's sometimes, like I say, you don't realize how much you have to do and how much you have to adapt. The life of a business owner versus a chef is you have to wear multiple hats. So it's not about cooking only. That's actually the easy part. So I had to learn and make a lot of mistakes in finance and HR and marketing. Thankfully I had a good sales and marketing background, so that was the least intimidating part of owning a business. But definitely the financial aspect. I knew how to run food budgets and labor budgets all day long, but more about managing money. That's something that was a big learning curve.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with that, like great at your craft, but then also you have to be great at business and great at marketing and great at contracts. So it's definitely a lot. Congratulations on beating Bobby Flay. Somebody would like to know what that experience was like.
Well, it was, first of all, being invited was amazing. And making the cut, it's a long process. It was about 3 months of just making it into taping for the show. And then the hardest part is you can't talk about it. You sign a lot of NDAs. So it was a good 6 months until we were able to announce that we got to compete. Our episode, if you haven't watched it, by the way, it's coming out again on the Food Network on May 14th. And the cool part about it is that they made a special episode where I competed with Ricardo on round 1. So I competed against my husband, and that was the first hurdle and the biggest. Ricardo is an amazing chef too. And then you go to, if you win that round, you move on to competing against Bobby, and he is amazing. He's a beast. An amazing chef, has a lot of energy and a lot of passion for his show. So I would say that I can definitely see where his purpose is, being in that world that he's a celebrity chef and he's very good at, doing those shows. So I can see where, he found his purpose. The entire team of the show, it was incredible. So I walked away, was just blessed with an amazing experience. And, obviously the result was even more amazing. But, even if that hadn't happened, it was just an honor, and it was being great for business. Obviously, the empanadas is now our best seller. It was already a good seller, but obviously after the show, it's #1. So it's been a blessing for our business as well. I was the first Latina chef to beat him, so that's, big bragging rights.
What was that like at your house after you beat Ricardo?
Oh, he's actually right next to me. He's a sweetheart.
Can we ask him that question?
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. So, when you have someone supportive right next to you, you both win.
That's an answer from somebody who's sitting next to her spouse. What would you recommend for someone trying to find a new passion?
I would recommend going back to what I talked a little bit. It starts small. Start, whether it's journaling, whether it's doing research. I think, if you have a great product that you love to do, let's take the example of photography. If you love taking pictures, that's really where you find yourself with the most joy. Start by selling some of your photography out there. Put yourself out into the world. And it can surprise you with a lot of support. and hone in on what you're good at. Even if you want to start with one thing that you're good at, and build up from there. Start small, take your time, and grow.
Going back to the business side a bit, how do you navigate the business side? And maybe for our entrepreneurs, speak specifically about, like, do you have a CPA? Do you have an attorney? Like, do you do all that stuff yourself, or do you have a team behind you that helps you?
So nothing you do by yourself. That's something that also I have learned. I'm very type A personality, so I used to be like, I can do it all. I want to do it all. And there's so many things in business that you can't control. So over time, as I've matured as a business owner, I've learned that you have to surround yourself with the best people that you can afford. And it's not something about necessarily paying for services. It could be partnerships. So yes, we have a great CFO who's our business partner, and that way I don't have to manage money. I just oversee with her, what needs to be done. We have a great partner with a PEO, payroll company, so that it helps us manage, our HR. Obviously, I have a great business partner in Ricardo, so we deal with different sides of the business. I kind of oversee all operations, and he's an amazing baker and master barista, so he kind of handles more the coffee side of our business, and the bakery side, more of a COO role, whereas I do more of a CEO role. When it comes to social media marketing, we have a great partnership with a creative agency. A lot of these services, unfortunately, we've had to put on hold given the situation that we're dealing with, but our plan is, to be able to go back to normalcy with our great creative agency. They're local, and we love working with them. Shout out to BKN Creative if they're logged in today. So again, to answer, kind of round it up to the question, is you want to surround yourself with a great team if you can. If you cannot, because you're just starting and these are all things that you need to do by yourself, you want to learn. Put yourself out there to gain knowledge, take courses, watch videos. When I first started with Ricardo, our first restaurant, I used to do all the books. I am certainly not an expert on QuickBooks. So I had to watch a lot of videos and research, Google a lot about how to do this, how to do that, how to categorize financial expenses. So those are all the challenges that you face, but you need to learn the best way you can.
Thank you. Yeah, and I will say, if we're doing shout out to Babe Crafted as well, because there are a lot of community organizations, like this one, but that's certainly a little bit more purposeful for entrepreneurs, where you can surround yourself with people who have been there before, know answers to those specific questions, like, should I start a 501c3 like for this, or should it be, a partnership or whatever. Like, it's those things that are maybe a little bit awkward to Google and not get exactly the right answer. So definitely having a community of people who have been where you've been is good too. Jason would like to know, what's the biggest challenge to finding your purpose? And I think you've touched on this a little bit, but maybe for somebody who, is working, but is feeling some of those questions internally about not being fulfilled, not being super happy, but doesn't have your amazing background of, I've always been a good cook, I've always been happy in the kitchen. How do you go about starting to explore what your actual passion or your actual purpose might be in life?
So I think with purpose, I have gone through two major challenges, and they creep up from time to time. It's just something you work at every day. One of the things would say self-doubt. I think it's normal, and I touch a little bit about it during, the presentation. It's normal to self-doubt, whether, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I had a lot of fear too. I would say that's the second challenge. When I knew I was ready to leave that corporate job, but I was so fearful. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? How am I, going to pay rent, or how am I going to do this and that? But I will say, going back to one of the pillars, take your time. When people ask me, if they're they're in culinary, a chef or a line cook, my dream is to open a restaurant one day. And I always tell them, take your time, do your work, build your business plan, find the financial backing. It's not going to happen overnight. So even if you go through moments of self-doubt, at the end of the day, if you ask yourself, would I cook for free? I certainly do. I cook for free every day if I can. I donate a lot of my time as well. Whether I'm being paid or it's for free, I gain the same fulfillment. If all is gone tomorrow, are you still joyful by doing what you're doing? And I think that's the question that you want to be able to answer for yourself.
That's great direction. Thank you. And our final question, what do you think makes the Tampa Bay food scene unique compared to other cities?
It's a great question. I think it's, like I mentioned before when I was talking a little bit about my roots, it's the melting pot that we have in Tampa. I love when people come to our restaurants and they tell me, I just moved from New York or Boston, North Dakota. I mean, it's amazing. There's a big buzz in our city, in our area, and it's growing in so many directions. A lot of people look into our area to move and to set roots, build families, and create jobs or get jobs here. And I feel all of that influences our food scene. And I think bottom line, I'm going to throw it back to you, yourself watching. It's you're demanding better options and you're demanding better food and more global food in our area. And that's extremely exciting as a chef to see and to taste and to create.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, definitely some exciting things happening on the culinary scene here in Tampa. So we're going to close it out. Thank you so much to Chef Rosana, Daniel Hiron, our musical guest, the Sunshine Squad, our partners, especially Roundhouse Creative. And thank you to all of you for joining us this morning. If you have a second, please fill out the one question poll that should be popping up on your screen here momentarily. And then also save the date for May 22nd when we'll be back to talk about nature. And I'm exploring all kinds of crazy things we could do for that theme. Like maybe we should all be outside. Maybe I should take these flags outside. So save the date. It's going to be fun. And have a great rest of your Friday. A wonderful weekend. We love you. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. And if you need anybody at any time, if you need somebody to talk to, look at your stuff, share things with, you can share with us on digital spaces. Or, Betty's here, my grandmother, she's bored a lot of the day. She's got some hot takes on local happenings and current events. So just drop me a note. I'll connect you. And she's got plenty to say. And yeah, stand up here. Come on. She has no hobbies except for being awesome. So yeah, if you need a friend, we're here for you. All the Sunshine Squad and Betty. All right. Love y'all. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.